Alina Habba is an attorney for President Trump and joins me now. Alina, good to see you. So I want to talk about the affidavit with you first. What do you think this judge is going to do? Are we going to see the affidavit? Are we going to see the meat on the bone on why the judge authorized the warrant for the full-scale search of Mar-a-Lago?
No, I don't think so. Don't forget, Judge Reinhart is the same magistrate judge that recused himself from my Hillary case about a month ago. He is definitely not going to be a friendly judge necessarily, and I would say it was highly unlikely. As we can see, the DOJ is already saying that they do not want us to see what was in the affidavit. Usually that's to protect witnesses and other things that have been cooperating with the justice system. So while I would love to see it and understand why you would ask for a raid with a cooperating president, do I believe that this judge is going to reveal it? No, I do not.
Now, you mentioned that this magistrate removed himself from the case between Trump and Hillary Clinton. So isn't Donald Trump in this case, in the release of the affidavit, isn't he entitled to an impartial magistrate, which doesn't seem like Judge Reinhart is?
Right. Absolutely, as is every citizen in this country. That's why we have the legal system. That's why we're supposed to have impartial judges. But absolutely, he is. We've asked for a special master with the DOJ. I believe they've indicated that they would not want an independent special master, which would be fantastic because it would be a neutral party, like you said, and it would preclude any funny business, for lack of better words.
You know, I'm curious, why did the FBI, when they came to you, say we want to turn off the security cameras? Why couldn't the Trump security cameras be on while they're raiding his place of business in his home?
It's a very good question. I was not there, but my understanding was they did request it, but it was not mandated in any way. Of course, they're not going to want cameras on. They, probably want to do what they do without anybody looking. It's the same reason that the attorneys weren't allowed to come into the premises and had to wait outside in the heat. So your question's as good as mine. It's a good guess.
You know, we know some of the documents that were seized. We had the clemency granting of Roger Stone. We had Trump's passports being seized. And I think this is indicative of the full-scale seizure of President Trump's home. Have you guys done an accounting of what was taken and what wasn't? Because it seems like everything but the toilet paper was taken out of the residence.
No. And another thing that's an issue, frankly, is that there's privilege, attorney-client privilege documents, I understand. There might be other documents, and that's why we want somebody to go through these with the DOJ and cooperate with them and us to make sure that everything is done copacetically. I don't know whether there was anything else in there. I can tell you that privileged documents are exactly that. They're privileged. Passports, I'm not sure why you would take someone's passports. I don't understand that either. I don't know how that even is done in error. As we now know, that fake news was reporting that they weren't taken, but we know for a fact they were. We had to release an email from Jay Bratt showing it. Unfortunately, there are a lot of questions that are unanswered at this point, so we'll see what happens on Thursday.
You know, it's important to note that the FBI is not always partisan, and I think to underscore that point, I want to go to a tweet that was made by the disgraced FBI agent Peter Strzok, who put out recently, please, oh, please keep asking how you can turn down the temperature in the country. And why does he have two passports? The Russian passport, of course, is kept in a vault in Yesevengo. I can't even say that name, and only swapped out at a third country meet, so it cannot be that one. I mean, so here you have Peter Strzok saying, listen, of course Donald Trump has another passport, and it's a Russian passport. He's still driving the Russian narrative that after 4 years of driving it has been discredited, but Peter Strzok from the FBI is still going, Russia, Russia, Russia.
Oh, God. Do you know what my advice is to Mr. Strzok? You're a defendant in my case. I recommend you focus on your marriage, sir. Stay out of this one.
You know what? That's probably pretty good advice. Here's what I think is happening. You know, the FBI and the DOJ do not want the affidavit out, right? Because then we get to see all the details of why they did this search on the president. We're going to see the political nature of why they did this search. If we don't see the affidavit, then they get to just systematically leak out the information they want. They get to control the media narrative because it's only the information they want us to see, not the information that they put in the affidavit. Am I right?
You're 100% right. I had a journalist call me today and say, I'm writing this story on how you could say that you believe that the DOJ or FBI could leak a witness. That has never happened. It would never happen. And he asked me for a comment. I said, I have no comment, because if you actually believe that, if you actually sincerely believe that leaks do not happen when you are Donald Trump, maybe not for other people, but in Donald Trump's life, leaks happen. All the rules are broken and bent, and the Constitution doesn't matter when you're Donald J. Trump, unfortunately.
You know what? The media would have had no stories over the 4 years of his presidency if it wasn't for leaks. He was leaked by everybody, and especially the DOJ and the FBI. Alina, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Keep up the good work.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.